Hi, Cancer. It's Sarah with Earth to Sarah Tarot. I am so glad you found me, and I'm excited to start my channel. This is my first month doing the live video recordings, so please bear with me. My style and my format and things will hopefully get better as I proceed with the channel. So I'm just going to get right into it. This is your May love reading for 2017. I do a 9-card layout and hopefully offer some advice and, just things, energies that I'm picking up for you for the month. And this can be for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If this doesn't resonate with you, please check out your Moon or Rising sign as well. There could be some information that is valuable there also. So I'm just going to get right into the reading, Cancer. You are my crabs, a water sign, very much feelers. Your dominant key phrase or mantra is I feel. You have a very hard exterior sometimes, Cancer, and you're very proud and you're very solid, and I think you have an ability to make decisions and stick to them, and rarely second guess yourself outwardly. I think any second guessing that you do is internal, and you often hide your sensitive side. When you think of a crab, inside they're extremely soft, tender, seriously, like tender people internally, and on the outside it's this rock hard shell, right? So sometimes it takes a while to get to know the inner Cancer. I feel like they can hold in their true self at some times, and also this doesn't go for all Cancers. Planetary alignments and moon signs and rising signs have a lot to do with personality types, but a lot of Cancers that I have come in contact with have a tendency to use humor as a way to kind of deal with their feelings or any uncomfortability that they have. So what does the tarot energies want us to know for the sign of Cancer in the month of May? Please offer any advice and guidance for the sign of Cancer in May 2017. Cancer, May 2017. Cancer, May 2017. Okay. That feels good, Cancer. Thank you again for listening and for finding my channel. I hope this resonates for you. I'll hold the cards up as I walk through them so you can see them better. I'm using the Modern Spellcasters deck by Melanie Marquis, illustrations by Scott Murphy. Okay, we're starting out with the 9 of Swords, and this can be a heavy energy. It's a sense of worry going on. The 5 of Wands, the 6 of Pentacles, the 9 of Wands, the 10 of Cups, the 4 of Swords, Death, the World, and the Lovers. And on the bottom we have the 8 of Swords. Okay. So, what is all this change happening, Cancer? So, I feel like, towards the end of the month, you're really going to feel why all of this energy is happening around you. But right now, it might be a little confusing for you. So, I'm trying to just center these. I don't mean to keep fiddling with the cards, but it's just that they don't seem to all be coming in. Okay, so it seems like there's change and like things happening all around you, and it's almost like you're feeling like you want to go in that shell and sort of recoil a little bit. Excuse me, I just got finished being sick, so I apologize. Cancer, like I said, when it comes to conflict and when it comes to sort of speaking your truth, sometimes I think that you have a tendency to handle those things with humor and jokes and playfulness, and that's sort of how you make it through discomfort. In a way, it's if you think about the way a crab moves, right? They move side to side. So at times, rather than confronting an issue head on with your partner, at a job, whatever it is, you'll sort of move side to side around it. So you'll play with this idea a little bit. You'll play with your emotions a little bit, and you'll kind of test the waters, right? Go move in and out and see how this little humor joke affects them, and then you'll kind of recoil, right? You'll just like it's almost like dipping your toes in the water and then pulling it back out. And I see you kind of doing that in life right now. It's like either in a relationship or in the dating world, it's like you'll put yourself out there for a second, and then you'll get a little bit frightened, or you'll crack a joke and the person doesn't laugh or they don't take it right, and then you'll sort of like come back in, and it's your way of dealing with things, and it's kind of, it's good. It goes with the flow. That's how you sense people's emotions, right? You kind of like throw something out there and see if they bite, and if they do, you'll continue. If they don't, you'll back away. And I think that's kind of how you're dealing with your relationship or with the dating world or whatever in terms of love. So when I do this spread, I kind of focus all the cards around the center card, which is sort of the general overall energy of the reading, because all the cards kind of connect to this one. And so the Nine of Swords is a card of worry. It's a card of depression. It's a card of feeling just overwhelmed. As you can see, this person's got their head in their hands. They have candles lit. They're almost performing some sort of cleansing or like relaxing, I don't want to say seance because that can be scary, but something where they're just kind of meditating and they're surrendering to the fact that they just don't feel good, right? Their thoughts are getting to them. Maybe this is how you feel right now, like you're having trouble sleeping. There's just a lot going on. And I don't really get that it's depression per se. I'm not feeling like you're depressed. I'm feeling like you're just a little overwhelmed, just because there's been a lot of miscommunication with the Mercury retrograde and with Venus in retrograde as well. There's just been relationship issues, and I think it's just like you're missing what was, I want to say. Like you're missing the way things used to be. If that makes any sense to anyone. I mean, it's like there's something about you that is feeling a little uncomfortable in your environment right now, and you're protecting yourself, there could be things just like people offering you different things or different opportunities coming at you, and you just really don't know which direction to take. You just really don't know if everybody's intentions are good, or you don't want to repeat any. If you've gone through a breakup recently, or you've been fighting with your significant other or something, it's like you're not wanting to do that anymore. You're feeling tired. You're feeling exhausted with that. You're tired of the fighting. You just want to, when an argument happens, it's like you almost just want to kind of crack a joke, and like you're just over it. You need something more. You don't want to feel like you're being surrounded with all these like needs and competition. And it's almost like if you're single and you go out on a date, or you go out with your group of friends or something, and maybe you're into some guy, but it's like, or some girl, and you see all these other people flirting with them too, and you're almost just like, I don't even want to like get involved in that competition. I don't even want to prove that I'm better. I don't even want to do that again, like try to compete as why I'm desirable. It's almost like you're tired of that. You're tired of the same old song and dance when it comes to like competing in the dating world. And when it comes, if you're in a solid relationship, it's like just the everyday crap where people are blaming others, or like you have to defend yourself over what you did or didn't do, in the relationship. It's like you're just kind of sick of the who does more, who does less, kind of stuff, and you're just tired of it, I feel. And you're really ready to just kind of have some lighter energy. You just want to be a little more playful. And I think that as like the summer's approaching and stuff, you're wanting to just like change the dynamic entirely. It seems like there's been a lot of we're starting with the Five of Wands. As you can see, there's a beehive up here, and they're all kind of batting at this beehive, and it's competition, it's friendly, they're smiling. This card can represent aggression and, a bit of discord, but it also is necessary, and we think about the business world and the dating world. At some point you're going to have to stand up and take a whack. At some point you're going to have to prove that you're brave enough to try, that you're brave enough to step out there, reach out, and give it a go. And I feel like you did. This is a card of reciprocity, give and take, and I feel like you've been offering a little, taking a little, offering a little, taking a little. That give and take thing that I was talking about, that put your foot out and then you kind of pull back. And it's almost like you're needing someone to kind of reach out to you and just like pull you out entirely, and really just strike your fancy in order to get you completely out of this like defensive mode that I feel like you're in. Okay, so you're doing this back and forth thing, and then here we are with the Nine of Wands. You're acting defensive. You're behind this, these, you can see has her sword there, or her wand there, and then she's behind, kind of made a circle around herself to guard herself. And so it's like you sort of call these people in, maybe you'll make some connections while you date, or maybe you'll crack some jokes with your partner or whatever, and then they'll give back what you put out, and someone will call you back from, the number that you gave out, or, your partner, you'll crack a joke and say something funny, and then they'll give it right back to you, and then you kind of get like this where you feel like, oh, that hurt, or I don't really want to talk to that person. I probably shouldn't have given my number out, and so it's like you're doing it and then you're not. And and so I just feel this this back and forth, and this wanting to build a circle of protection around yourself that you can safely be in, but I guess the point that I'm getting to is, if we want to get out and meet new friends, if we want to get out and date, if we want to find ultimate happiness, the Ten of Cups represents, a good time. You can see there's a rainbow here. There's 4 people that are completely supporting each other. They're holding each other up. They have similar goals. They have similar dreams. It looks like they found the end of the rainbow. They're emotionally connected. They seem to have a relationship of some kind. It could be a family. So I feel like if you want this, you want to sort of reach out and find that, or you want to get through to your partner. You want, maybe you want to get married, or you want to move in together, or you want them to propose or something. And so you will say little things to them and hope that it's received well. And if it's not, you recoil. And then, you go into this solitary disappointment, and you don't feel good, or you feel upset, and you don't really tell anybody about it until it's like too much, until you've just had enough, until you're completely overwhelmed and things have exhausted you, and your feelings have been hurt to the extreme where you feel just like totally drained, totally exhausted. And death doesn't mean physical death. Death doesn't mean, I don't ever predict or say anything about physical death. This is about transforming. This is about sucking a resource dry until it is no longer working, and it's time to now change. You have finished the cycle. You have burned this candle out, okay? And so I feel like you're burnt out. Your way of dealing with things being, giving a little and then pulling back just isn't working for you anymore. So there has to be a way to mend this cycle, if we want the world, if we want a safe home, a safe environment, we want a protection, we want this circle of protection around us. You see, there's a couple cards, most of these cards have people in them. Cancer, you like to be around people. You like your home, but you like socializing, and you like having friends, but you like them to be people that you can trust, and people that are in your circle of protection and in your circle of trust. What's that movie, Meet the Parents? The Circle of Trust, okay? So you build this circle of trust around you. Then every now and then you get curious, and every now and then, just like anybody, they outgrow this circle of trust, or you outgrow your shell. You become comfortable enough to where you feel like it's time for something new. You feel like you've worn out this comfort zone, and so you'll kind of venture out a little bit, and then it's like, instead of continuing on in that venture, Cancer, for whatever reason, there's something that's holding you back from breaking free of this circle of people, this relationship. If you're in a relationship that makes you feel like this, more than you feel like this, then maybe it's time to reevaluate the relationship. If you feel like you're having to defend yourself in the relationship, more than you're receiving. You know, if you don't feel like what you're putting out is being received, and it's just being, you have to constantly defend your feelings, constantly defend what you think or what you say or what jokes you crack. If they're not involved, if they're not getting your humor, um, if you're not feeling comfortable in a situation anymore, then it's time to get out of that circle. We can't lay dormant in this comfort zone because we're too afraid of change, because we're too afraid to break free. And, I just see this circle around a lot of these cards, and I feel like this is you just kind of building this shell around yourself. Here this person has swords around them. Their thoughts are preventing them from moving and getting out of this sort of sticky situation, right? And here this person has, broken free of those swords and put them down and is now just basically dealing with that mess and going, okay, this sucks, this hurts, I'm sad, instead of not looking at them and allowing them to still be there and block them. They have now ripped them out and they're now dealing with that sadness, right? And this person, this circle of protection, they're just laying there, just sleeping, and they have people watching their back. And this one, you're protecting yourself in some way. You've got a weapon. Here we have another circle around this person, and it's the World card. This is the end of the cycle where we feel like we have completed and done the things that we needed to do to change and grow and learn, and now we're able to move forward to the next cycle, which is great right after death, a transition, and now, but for whatever reason, you're resisting this change, you're resisting break, you're resisting figuring out whatever is keeping you from completely moving forward and completely stepping out. So you have to really make that choice. You have to take the world on and fully commit to it, and not just keep testing these waters. It's like you're going to end up exhausting yourself trying to figure out how to keep all these people comfortable and how to stay in this protective element that, maybe isn't so safe anymore. And this could be, if you're in a relationship with someone and a lot of things have recently happened, there's been a lot of this give and take, push pull, you kind of hinting at what you need and hinting at what you want and hinting at what will make you happy, and them not receiving what you're asking for, so you just pulling back and going back into that shell and going back into that that feeling of protection and safeness. It just, you're gonna blow up and you're gonna be like, I'm just finished with this, and then that person isn't necessarily gonna know why, because you have kept it all inside for so long, and then you just throw your hands up and go, I want to get married, and you haven't proposed, and so I'm out. And it's like you've been dropping all these little hints and maybe thinking that you're really getting through to them, but it's not. That has to be direct. The communication has to be direct. And, you have the Lovers at the end. This is a choice. This is making a choice to make yourself happy, and choosing a relationship. It's love coming your way. It's commitment and happiness and growth with another person. It's the card of Gemini. Um, you know, this ending and, all this chaos in the middle, it's like, it just tells me that you prefer harmony. This is such a harmonious card. These two people seem to be very in tune with one another. It's just there's a rainbow, there's sun, there's harmony between them, right? So what it all boils down to for you is all this competition, all this worry, all this change, all this adapting and things that you're trying to do. It's like you'll do all that for your partner. You'll disrupt your life, or you will wait around, or you'll do a lot for love, and you will choose love, and you will choose harmony over conflict. Oh, my computer's being kind of crazy. I'm so sorry about that, but the battery's about to die, so it's warning me. Anyway, with all this emotion and all this chaos going on, what it boils down to for you is harmony and feeling like you have that peace, and you will nearly exhaust yourself to maintain that balance and that sort of calmness. And I just want to say, Cancer, that you don't have to sacrifice anything, your own happiness for others' happiness. Make sure that that's not something that you're doing, or you're not staying in a situation purely because you're too afraid to break free of that comfort zone of yours. There's a whole world out there. There's a lot to experience. That if you're unhappy and someone is making you sad more than they're making you happy, or they're not giving as much as you are, or you have to defend yourself too much, or you're trying so hard to be motherly or caring or empathetic or supportive, and they're not accepting that support. They're just kind of shoving it off, or if people aren't laughing at your jokes and being a part of thinking that your humor is funny, and it embarrasses you, or whatever, you don't feel comfortable in a scenario, that's okay. You have to kind of put yourself out there to know what situations you find safe and harmonious, and what part of the world you want to be in, and what part of the world makes you feel secure, and what part of the world makes you feel scared, or makes you feel drained, or etc. You have to filter out your circle of people and make sure that everybody in there has your best interest at heart, just like you have their best interest at heart, and that you don't put your world on hold for somebody else's, or you don't stay in a situation where you have way more to experience in the world, like the world's in front of you, but you can't see it because you're too focused on maintaining this peace and maintaining this harmony, right? Change disrupts harmony, any kind of change. So if you want something from your partner and they're not giving it to you, and you just lay down and take it, or you just constantly accept what you don't want less than you want, then you're never going to reach that full potential, and you're never going to make it all the way through this journey of life, and grab hold of what you want in your world. You're going to have a connection, but it could feel hollow. So I don't know if I was all over the place or if that made any sense for you, Cancer, but it's definitely, I definitely see you kind of afraid to leave this safety net, or afraid to fully express what it is that you need or what it is that you want. I see you kind of wearing yourself out, trying to maintain a sense of balance and harmony and protocol within your relationship or within your life or whatever. I see you just tired of the competition and not wanting to kind of leave your safety zone, your house, your whatever it is, because you really don't feel like even putting on the makeup and getting dressed up and going out and exposing yourself. You kind of just want to, like, it's like, if you're going to put yourself out there, it takes a lot of effort. You've got to do your hair. You've got to work out. You've got to watch what you eat if you're a male. You've got to, maybe buy new clothes. You can't just go out looking like this. You have to really pull it together, and that takes effort. And maybe you're worried that you're not enough as you are right now, and it's like you just feel like there's too much competition out there, and it's intimidating for you, so it's like you're just kind of trickling in, and then you're venturing out a little bit with your little crab claws, and then you're going right back in. So, and like I said, whenever if your feelings are hurt, instead of laughing about it or cracking a joke about it and, covering it up with humor, just own it. Be like, what, that hurt my feelings, and I don't like it when you say that, and own what's really going on, so that you don't take it in, and then all of a sudden explode, and the other person not know where that came from or why. That's not very productive. You have to handle and address the issues when they happen, not kind of joke them off and fight them off, or be like, haha, that was funny, and serve jokes back to them, or snide comments, and then go home and cry about it in the pleasure of your own home. And be like, gosh, that really affected me, because then it's like you never got out what you needed to say. You never let that person know that really affected you. You made them think that it was okay, and they can speak to you that way again, just all for the sake of maintaining the protocol, all for the sake of maintaining the safety, security of your circle, not to disrupt that, not to create any conflict. You'll sort of take things, laugh it off, and then go home and cry about it. That's kind of what I'm feeling. And, in relationships, you'll like say funny things like, oh, why don't you buy me a ring? Or why don't you do this? And then, but you're really serious, and you're not letting them know that you're serious or what you really need. So, yes, harmony is good. Yes, peace is good. We want to get along with everybody, but you also want to correct mistakes before they continue to happen and become a cycle and cause you to just exist where you are, kind of like going through the motions, kind of like a zombie or something, instead of going through life happy and fulfilled. You have to live your life for yourself and not what your friends want or what your family wants or whatever, or follow that security circle of people all the time in that same relationship, same friendship, same house, same everything. You know, you have to break free, push away all that, and look at the world and see what's out there for you, and, you know, just don't be afraid of breaking the peace, breaking the ties if that's what's necessary. So, hopefully that made sense, and I hope you really do that, Cancer, and I hope that we're able to turn this sadness into experiences that allow you to have a stronger backbone and allow for you to stop any situations with seriousness and genuinely before they make you feel like this and before they make you recoil. So, yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Namaste. Thank you so much. Have a great month of May.